Hello and welcome. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating, even revolutionary idea in the workplace. It's one that all boils down to a very simple question about who really knows how to get things done.
Think about it. When a process hits a snag or a piece of software keeps glitching out, who truly gets the ins and outs of what's going on? Is it the CEO in the corner office or the person who's got their hands on it day in and day out? That very question is right at the heart of what we're talking about today.
And the answer, the powerful solution to that question, is this: the quality circle. The whole philosophy behind it is that the employees who are closest to the work, they're the real experts. And this gives them the framework and, more importantly, the power to actually make things better. So, what does this actually look like? Well, let's be clear. This isn't some new mandate being handed down from the top floor. No, it's the total opposite. It's a bottom-up approach, one that's designed to drive improvement from the ground up, making work better for everyone involved.
And the goals here are pretty comprehensive. On the one hand, you've got the hard business results, right? Things like better product quality, higher productivity, lower costs. But just as important, it's about investing in your people. We're talking about boosting morale, teaching valuable problem-solving skills, and building that culture of always getting a little bit better, what the Japanese famously call kaizen. So where did this brilliant idea even come from? Well, for that, we've got to jump in our time machine and head back to post-World War II Japan. This was a period of incredible industrial change, and it was the very birthplace of a global quality revolution.
Now, while some American experts like Deming and Duran laid a lot of the groundwork with their ideas about quality control, the person who's really seen as the father of quality circles is Professor Kaoru Ishikawa. Back in 1962, he's the one who formalized the whole concept, really emphasizing that every single employee should be involved. He's the one who truly brought it to life. And once he did, the idea just caught fire. It absolutely exploded across Japan in the 60s, and it was a huge part of what fueled their manufacturing boom. Then, in the 70s and 80s, it made the jump to the West. Now, its popularity as a specific brand name kind of faded after a while, mostly due to some clumsy attempts to implement it. But as we're about to see, its core DNA, well, it's still very much alive and kicking today. Okay, so what does this look like in practice? How does a group of frontline employees actually go about solving real-world problems? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of how this whole thing actually works inside a company.
A quality circle isn't just some casual coffee chat. It's got a real structure. First, you've got the members themselves, a small group, usually 3 to 12 people, who all volunteer and work in the same area. Then there's a leader to guide the meetings and a trained facilitator who kind of acts like a coach, teaching them the right problem-solving tools. And this is the crucial part. There's a steering committee of senior managers who actually listen to their proposals and give the green light. That creates a vital link between the frontline and the leadership.
The process they follow is incredibly systematic. This isn't just a complaint session. First, the team gets together, brainstorms all the issues they face, and then agrees on one specific problem to tackle. Then comes the deep dive. They actually go out and gather data to find the real root cause, not just the annoying symptoms. And only after all that do they start brainstorming solutions.
Okay, this next part is where the rubber meets the road. The circle puts together a formal presentation for management, pitching their best solution and laying out a super clear plan. Once they get that green light, they often get to lead the charge on implementing it themselves. And finally, they circle back and track the results to prove their fix actually worked. And if it did, that successful fix becomes the new standard way of doing things.
Now, to make all this happen, the teams are given a simple but really powerful toolkit. They learn how to use things like a fishbone diagram to map out every single possible cause of a problem, or a Pareto chart to pinpoint the 20% of issues that are causing 80% of the headaches. The point is, you don't need to be a statistician to do this stuff. You just need a structured way to look at the work and make decisions based on facts, not just feelings.
This all sounds amazing, right? But after this idea spread all over the world and thousands of companies gave it a shot, what was the final verdict? Let's be real and take a look at the scorecard, the good and the bad.
So when they were done right, the benefits were just undeniable. You get empowered, happier employees who come up with practical, often low-cost solutions. That improves quality, boosts teamwork. It's a huge win. But it wasn't a magic bullet. The pitfalls tell the other side of the story. The absolute number one killer was a lack of real commitment from management. Executives would talk a big game but never actually provide the time or resources. Then you had resistance from middle managers who felt like this was a threat to their authority. And finally, too many companies just treated it like the flavor of the month, a fad, instead of a deep cultural change.
So here's the crucial takeaway. It all boils down to one thing: leadership. Without genuine, active, ongoing support from the top, all that incredible bottom-up energy from a quality circle, it just fizzles out. Management has to be all in, for real. So, while you might not hear the exact phrase quality circle thrown around a lot these days, its influence is, well, it's absolutely everywhere in the modern workplace. Its DNA has basically been passed down to a whole new generation of management ideas. And that is its true lasting legacy. These core principles: empowering the frontline team, using data to drive decisions, and committing to a culture of constant improvement. I mean, these are the fundamental building blocks of today's most successful systems, from Lean to Six Sigma. The spirit of the quality circle is definitely alive and well. Which brings us to our final thought. The name might sound a little vintage, but the core idea, trusting the people who do the work to improve the work, that's timeless. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What kind of problems could be solved in your own world if you just gave the real experts on the ground a voice?